This is Daniela Camboni for Kitco News, and you are watching In the Lead with Jon Nadler for Wednesday, July 20th. Jon, so good to be back in the studio and nice to see you again as well. From what I hear, I've missed quite a few exciting moments these past 2 weeks while I was gone.
That's absolutely true. You missed a lot of excitement in both directions in the markets, of course, and a lot of wrangling in Washington about the budget ceiling and about the debt limit, and it's still going on as we speak.
Jon, first question for you today is about the Gang of Six plan taking center stage as the debt deadline nears. Would like to know your thoughts on the possible impact on the precious metal.
Well, we've seen a little bit of a preview of that impact just the other day when President Obama simply expressed support for such plans. And of course, gold and silver sold off rather heavily on that perception that the U.S. will not default and that some solution will be found to not only the debt ceiling issue but also to deficit cutting. So the Gang of Six proposal here seems to be gaining traction. The president is willing to support this. It looks like it's a package that will pass muster as high up as the Senate, and even the most staunch conservatives in the Republican Party should be actually fairly pleased with this, because in effect, it ends up cutting the tax rate for high-income earners from 35% to 29%. But there are a lot of other things baked into this proposal which could actually benefit, the debt solution impasse that we're currently finding ourselves in. All in all, the deadline still remains August 2nd. I feel pretty confident that they'll find a solution before that deadline rolls around.
Jon, now let's talk about the big EU summit happening tomorrow. Will this provide a quick fix solution? What can we see coming out of the meeting?
Yes, that is also been playing into the markets here, because let's remember the fact that a lot of the rallies we've seen in gold and in silver over the last 2.5 weeks or so have been built on this perception of doomsday coming to the European Union, to the euro, and to the US and the US dollar. And the more officials pedal in the opposite direction of avoiding doomsday, the less fear and the need for safe havens there might be in these markets. The EU meeting is critical. Ahead of it, Chancellor Merkel and President Sarkozy are already meeting today, trying to cobble together some sort of common ground agreement with which to avoid the worst outcome. However, the markets and the financial press is expecting big things to come out of this emergency meeting in Brussels, and they want concrete measures to be put on the table, not only to address the issue of Greece and who will step in to rescue that country, but also some of the other peripherals which have had problems recently and whose ratings were downgraded almost incessantly by Moody's and S&P over the last 2 weeks. And we're talking, of course, about Spain, Portugal, Ireland, and so on. There's almost a war developing between officials and the rating agencies here, because some officials have expressed concern that the rating agencies are actually hindering progress and are actually making the situation worse with their constant downgrading.
So, Jon, is it me, or am I sensing you've become a tad more bullish since I've been gone?
I think it's you. I remain skeptical of markets whose advances are built on solely crisis expectation, because what we've seen just before this phase was that the markets were heading south on perceptions that the worst had passed. So it's an ebb and flow by the spec funds. We have to remember that this is a very thin summertime market, and that any sizable sums of money coming in or out of the market make for exaggerated moves, and we've seen exaggerated moves and then some in the last 2 weeks. I don't obviate the need for essential core protection in gold or in silver, for that matter, if you feel like it. But the idea of getting carried away just because we feel that the end of the world is around the corner may be the one that's going to be tested here in coming weeks.
All right, Jon. Well, it was good to see you again today.
We're happy to have you back.
We'll see you next week for a new edition of In the Lead. And thank you for watching. You can email me your comments and questions at newsfeedback@kitco.com.